The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Careers with Sara on Armed Radio Global. I'm here every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you are new to the show and it's your first time listening to my show, I am talking about careers. I'm talking about salary raises, about career changes, transitioning your career from what you're doing now to something else, and also finding a dream job. If you are interested to find out more about the show, you can connect with me on Facebook, Let's Talk Careers with Sara, and you can join my Facebook group that is free. It's called Let's Talk Careers Inner Circle. If you don't have Facebook, I can reach out to you. You can reach out to me on email. Let's talk careers with Sara@gmail.com. So today I'm so excited to talk about getting that job, the job that you want. The interview process is the first step in getting the job you have always dreamed. You will need to impress the interviewer to move on in the process and reach the hiring manager. Some companies do not use a hiring manager, which means it's even more important to impress the interviewer. If you go into the interview unprepared, you will lose the job opportunity. The first step in preparing for the interview is knowing about the company you are applying for. Just as knowing about the position is important, it is likely the interviewer will question you on how you will help the company's mission or advancement. It is not a requirement to know everything about the company, but you will want to know what services they provide, the products sold, and what their mission statements or goals are. Another preparation you should make prior to the interview is to make a list of questions. While it is not common knowledge, interviewers do not want to hear that you have no questions during an interview. In fact, some companies take this to mean you are not concerned about the position. One question you should not put on the list, however, is that the salary. Oftentimes, the interviewer will discuss the salary with you near the end of the interview, but you should not ask about it. You want to make sure you arrive slightly early for the interview so that you have a chance to prepare mentally. If you have never been to the office before, drive past at the same time your interview will be a day before. This will let you see what traffic is like, where parking is, and other possible routes available. You want to leave a positive impression, so do what you can to avoid being late or getting lost. So how you can select the perfect job. So selecting the perfect job is the first step is obtaining the perfect job is to know what your definitions are for it to be great. You can then seek positions that meet the requirements of a great job. You always want to be realistic when searching for a job and make sure you are not only looking for companies that meeting all of the requirements. Look for positions that meet most of your list and give the overall feel of what you are looking for in a great job. Expecting too much from a position will leave you without a job. You need to understand that while you feel you are worth nearly $50,000 a year as an experienced administrative assistant, the number of available positions may not be able to support it. The flexibility you have on the pay or other adjustable qualities will help ensure you obtaining your dream job. You want to make sure that whatever you compromise on, you are okay with. Now that you have made your list of what qualities a job as the best, put them in order of importance. You want items that you are not willing to negotiate on the top, while the ones that you would like but are not mandatory at the bottom. For example, if you are looking for a local job but you find one that is an hour away but lets you remote in 4 out of 5 days, that may be something to negotiate. List what areas you are willing to compromise on and keep those in the back of your mind when you go in for the interview. Keep the job as possible until you have had a chance to go over everything. You want to use this method because the job market is extremely tough right now. It is not reasonable to expect to receive everything you desire in a job. You need to make sacrifices, but you should not feel like you are lowering your standards so much that you miss a better job. So let's go back to conducting a job search. Conducting job searches can be done in a variety of manners, all producing similar results. While there's no right or wrong way, you want to make sure that you are using up-to-date methods. The job market is run very differently than even decades ago. Most employees and employers now look for a cover letter, resume, and applications to come at the same time and place in that order. Some companies do not keep applications on file, so they will accept them when they have active positions open. This can make your job extremely difficult. I, for example, recommend to have a portfolio that includes resume, cover letter, and of course application. Now applications are done online. They are not done on paper. I find very few companies that still do paper applications. Some even don't have applications. They just waiting for someone to recommend an employee, to refer an employee, and then based on that they hire on the spot. But I recommend a portfolio because a portfolio makes you stand out from the crowd. And while doing a portfolio, you are actually showing you're doing your homework. And in that portfolio, it's 10 pages of items that most of the time companies are looking for after the interview. But when you provide it at the interview, they know that you are doing your homework and they want to hire you. A portfolio includes a cover page. A cover page states your name, like a cover book, states your name, your last name, and your title, your phone number, your email, your LinkedIn, anything that it belongs on the top of the resume for your contact information. That's the cover page. Then it goes to table of contents. Then it's a mission of you. What is your mission in your career? Mission statement, what your goals are. And then it's the cover letter, resume, and 3 reference letters from your employers, your colleagues. And then you have your diploma, your degree, your certificates, your licenses. And then you have if you need a transcript, just provide a transcript. I don't know, for some reason some companies are very meticulous and they are looking for a degree with a transcript, making sure that you actually graduated. And also if you have any articles that you published or anything that you want to share your creativity, your a sample of work, include that as well. And at the end is a thank you letter stating thank you for taking the time to interview you. And then basically that's what you do. The portfolio, usually I recommend to leave it for the hiring manager or whoever interviews you for 3 days. You give them a deadline and you say, I'm leaving this portfolio for you to have time to look at it, because you probably don't have time to look at it while we talk on the interview. So leave it by you and I'll pick it up. Let's say now it's Wednesday. I'll pick it up Thursday, Fridays 2 days, Saturdays usually they are closed. So Monday, you say Monday, I'm going to come and pick it up. So you give them a deadline also by that, so they can make their decisions within those short time period, within those 3 days. So usually it works. It makes you stand out of the crowd. And I also recommend to have business cards. Business cards are essential because yes, you have a resume. Yes, you have the portfolio. But to have a business card stating you, even though let's say you are an RN, right? You have your name, your title, and then you have your phone number, your email address, your social media accounts. All of those are going to be mentioned in your business card. That is a last impression. And if you are very creative, you want to also have in the back of the card your mission statement. Mission statement shouldn't be long than 5 sentences. It's a paragraph. That's it. Nothing like going crazy about it. You can even have one slogan. One sentence will be enough. So by that, you are standing out from the crowd. People are going to see you're creative. When you are saying on your cover letter that you are creative, it's not enough. You're showing it. And that's how they are going to believe in you and know you are actually the right person to hire, because you are creative, as you stated, and you have proved it to them. I, as a resume writer and a career coach, I help create this for all the candidates that I am running through. So this is something you should be thinking of. I don't really force on anyone when they come to me. I provide them 3 packages, and those 3 packages are listed in the group. Let's Talk Careers Inner Circle. And based on that package, you decide what is good for you. I really recommend to have also also have a LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile is I don't think that LinkedIn profile should be the same as the resume. It should be a little bit better than the resume because it's editable and it's actually word searchable. So a lot of people that have done that have actually got a job very quickly without even an interview. They just call them and say they're available to start. And this is just something that LinkedIn provides. It provides you this flexibility of being creative as much as you can in order for you to have this. The skills over there on LinkedIn, you can ask your colleagues, your connectors, people who are connected with you to endorse you. And you also can ask your colleagues to put a review on your page. That's why it's a recommendation letter, kind of. And if imagine they see 100 recommendations, 50 recommendations, 20 recommendations, 10 recommendations, it's more than enough. It's really more than enough. And if you are giving recommendations to others, it's also going to show that you are actually an active person and you care. You care about others, you care about others' careers, and you care also about your careers. So also I would recommend to start writing your articles, publish them. Not enough to post on LinkedIn, but also to publish articles. When a hiring manager goes to your LinkedIn profile, they are actually want to see your, let's say that they're looking for writing skills. They will just go and see if you have published any articles. If you haven't published any articles and you say you are good at writing skills in your cover letter, then they're going to say, how can he prove it to me? A cover letter is not enough. A cover letter can be written by someone else. A resume can be written by someone else. But how can this candidate prove it to me that he's a good writer? So by you having those articles published on LinkedIn, they can basically go and see and really see for themselves that you are actually a creative writer. If you are not a writer, and if they don't really require that skill, then don't do it. You really don't have to. But once you write articles on LinkedIn, and let's say I Google your name up, that's what every hiring manager will do. They Google your name up, and all of these articles are popping up. that gives an impression that you are credible person, you're a legit person, someone who is honest, who is true, who is actually working their butts off in order to get the career to the highest level possible. So, if that's what you want, if that's what you care, then start implementing that. Now, I want to say that the best place to start will be looking online. Most companies use online resources to place positions and careers available. In addition, many online job boards are available where companies can post openings. Make sure you are not only relying on the most popular sites, as some companies only use their website. Some companies may have their positions posted on all heavily populated job posting sites, while others will rely on only one or two specifically. What I recommend to do is when you go on Indeed.com, you have basically all the positions available and the companies that have posted that. And when you click on the companies, you will see all the positions available in that particular company. I also recommend to go on their website to make sure that they got your resume, because when you go on Indeed.com and you post your creatively written resume, it is not going to be shown the same way when you upload it on Indeed. Even though it's a PDF, even though it's a Word document, it's still going to be nitpicking the right keywords, and that's what they're going to show to the hiring manager. They don't even show your email address. It's going to really show only your phone number and your name, nothing else. So I recommend to go to their website and then upload the PDF and the Word document, then they will be able to see your creativity, your creatively written professional resume, and they're going to read it till the end. So, if that's how you want to stand out, this is the way to go. Statistically, only 20% of all open jobs are posted in the local newspaper. But those jobs may not be posted anywhere else. You never want to eliminate a job resource, as the more resources you use, the better your chances will be in finding that perfect position. It will also speed up the length of time it takes you to find a good position. So I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Found a place to celebrate? But wait, you are missing a sweet table. With fancy desserts and a menu full of items of your choice. Call 347-265-5063. You can have a sweet table as if you are a celebrity. Quality worth every penny. Order from New York Artisan Bakery. Want to win your party? Call 347-265-5063.
All right, we're back. So now I want to ask you a question. How do you define the perfect job? The perfect job is not the same for everyone. So each person will need to find their own definition. Everyone has different interests and will need to look for something different in a job. So family members may have a different idea of what makes a perfect job. A perfect job is literally one that gives you satisfaction, feeling of accomplishment, and feeling of fulfillment. To start making your definition of a perfect job, you will want to make a list of what you expect from the position. When it comes to defining what is perfect for you, Think about what you like. Do you prefer to have a set schedule or something that is flexible? Do you want to be able to work from home? Your desires will not be the same as someone else. So you need to identify with what a perfect job is for you. Make a list for you to look at while job hunting. Write down what is important to you that a job has and does not have. The more time you take on your list, the more likely you are to find the perfect job without hopping from job to job. Loyalty and stability are two things that employers will look for on your resume. If you do your research first, you are more likely to show those two traits. Now that you have found a job that you are interested, now evaluate your qualifications. Your qualifications will be what prevents you from getting a great job, unless you put the bar lower until you expand your skills. So many people like to seek positions that they are not qualified for because it meets their definition of a perfect job. When you are looking for a job, read the qualifications before you apply. You do not want to set yourself up for failure, all while looking foolish in front of the company. You will not reach the interview stage and you will cause time to be wasted for both you and the person screening applicants. Mainly when I say to look for a job, it's not reading the job description, assuming, yes, I can do this, yes, I can do that. It's not. First and foremost, I say all the time, no matter what job you're applying for, look at the bottom of the job posting and look down at the qualifications. Qualifications, number one thing that they want is education. So, assuming you have all the skills, all the experience, but you don't have education, meaning you don't have a degree, you will not be qualified for the job because of that. So qualifications is the number one thing for you not to waste any more time applying and sending resumes to the wrong companies. When you have located the job you think sounds perfect, immediately scroll down to the qualifications required. Many companies will list the required qualifications first and then will list preferred qualifications second. The screening process often has the required go into the one pile and the preferred into another, with the trash bin being where applications go for applicants not qualified at all. You will then need to sell yourself to the hiring manager if you only have the required qualifications. The more time you spend in interviews, in less time you spend actually being paid. If you are looking to make a career change, you will want to make sure you start where you are qualified. That may mean that you start at the bottom with no expertise, but meet the minimum requirements. Interviewers do not want to get through the interview only to find out that you have not even met their minimum qualifications. They are also more likely to remember your name and face and not consider you for future jobs. It is very important not to think you can charm your way into a job. The interviewer does not care if you are a fast learner or willing to train. He or she wants someone who walks into the room already possessing the training necessary. If the qualifications are not required, then the company is prepared to offer training for the right person. You want to look professional at all times, and part of that is not to reach for jobs and are obviously out of your reach at the time being. Now, let me tell you the 5 ways to guarantee that perfect job. Now, just as there are ways you can lose it, okay? Make sure you are always doing the things you should if you want to increase the chance of landing the job. If you purposely fail to do the following 5 things, you are setting yourself up for a failure to land the position. Let's start with dressing appropriately. Never dress in less than a business casual. Remember, you are dressing to impress the employer, and you should act as if any job is worthy of your respect and best appearance. Jeans should not be worn, despite the location or type of job you are applying for. High-paying positions often call for a professional outfit of business suits and similar. So there was an agency who has been interviewing remotely, meaning through Skype, a candidate, and a candidate had a suit on, and then that agency sent that candidate into a company who's looking for the job. Now, when a candidate went to the job, he dressed up with a suit. He had polished hair, really groomed nicely, but he wore flip-flops for the interview. Imagine, you can really impress with all of your things, and you have all of these qualifications, and you have all of these trainings and degrees, and you have all the skills and all the networks and everybody, whatever. When you wear flip-flops, all that you have is going to trash. The impression that and the vibe that you gave to the hiring manager is going to trash. You think maybe nobody is looking at the shoes? You're wrong. Really wrong. This person who was applying for a vice president position did not get the job. And that's a shame, because he could have done the job. But if you don't know how to dress yourself accordingly, there's no way anyone is going to hire you for any position. Unless you want to be a truck driver, no one cares how you dress up when you're on the road. Okay, the next thing is, will be finding the training resources. So finding the training resources. Now, you will need to make sure you know where to go to get the training you need. If your qualifications fall short for your dream job, even if you have a degree, it may be necessary to take a few courses to cover the new information. This can be done at home from online courses, preventing you from having to schedule around your current work schedule. However, it may be necessary to take a few classes at a local university or community college to acquire lab time, such as medical positions. Online courses can be the easiest on the schedule, but some people do not learn best on their own. If this describes you, then you will need to check into your local schools to see where training is available. You need to factor for time the course will take out of your day and the cost of the class to compare it to the boost it will give you in your field. For most, the increase in benefits and salary are enough to make all classes worth it. If you're just starting out in a career field, it is easier to find out where to go for new training. The resources are given to you as you finish school. However, those who have been in the field for a period may not have access to the same information. It does not mean that the changes will be difficult or cause a harder transition. It just means they will need to do more work to find the skill training required. It is possible that you will come across the need to change jobs because of changes that occur in the company, especially if your company is bought out. Some jobs begin to outsource, causing downsizes and budget cuts. If you're no longer happy with your position, then you no longer have your dream job. It is time to begin the hunt for what makes you happy again. Now, let's focus on enhancing your skills. Learning should never stop. If you constantly enhance your skills, you will have a better chance of finding the job you greatly desire. When you know more, you will have access to a greater variety of positions. You will spend nearly a quarter of your life working between college and retirement. You want to make sure you are doing something that you enjoy. Technology is forever changing and expanding, which expands our access to gain more knowledge. The decisions you make will have direct impact on your ability to get a job in the industry you choose. This is why it is so important to maintain the highest skill level possible to meet the demands of the market. It may cause some jobs to be unattainable, but it will open more of the higher paying positions. There is always the ability to grow and learn, especially with the advancement in technology. It is possible that the skills we currently have will already be out of date by the time we interview for a job. Attending additional classes is only one way that you can enhance your skills, but if it helps obtain a position, everything is worth the work. Now, the desires, something that a hiring manager desires to conduct in an interview. Now, it is common for people to have met the qualifications desired and have the proper references, but still be unable to land the job they want. This could be due to not exhibiting the desired conduct during the interview. Most employers can overlook nervousness, but there are other areas of etiquette that will not go unnoticed. Smoking. Smoking itself will not prevent you from getting a job. However, the smell may cost you. Cigarettes will leave you with bad breath and your clothes will smell. You want to make sure that you refrain from smoking right before the interview. Try not to make it sound like your work will revolve around smoke breaks either. If you need nicotine to calm your nerves, try a gum instead or use breath mints. Turn off the phone. No employer wants to have your cell phone interrupt an interview. Leave your phone turned off. If you have a child at a babysitter's, then you may want to inform the interviewer at the beginning that you have your phone on a vibrate just in case something should arise. However, it would be better if you have another person be the emergency contact for the time you are at the interview. Remain focused. When you walk into the interview, forget the outside world. Maintain eye contact with the interviewer instead of canvassing the room. To help you remain focused, consider leaving your pockets empty and your purse at your feet. Take notes, but do not doodle or appear bored. If you do not remain focused during the interview, the company will take that as a sign that you do not care about the job. Now, keep discussions relevant. While this point sounds like common sense, many people have trouble keeping their conversations relevant to the job position. This is especially true when the interviewer starts a discussion. Your personal life will come into play because they want to see what family life is like. They also want to know how it will affect your job. When discussing your family, husband, wife, children, make sure you keep it relevant to the job you're applying for. You can state that you have X number of children and they attend daycare that is open from 7 in the morning to 6 in the evening. That statement lets the employer know that you have children. You may have family events at some point, but your hours of availability are standard office hours. It's not necessary to tell them life events. Dress for success. Dressing for an interview. Now, this I have emphasized before, but I'm going to emphasize it again. Dressing for an interview is complicated because you cannot assume that you can dress down. If you're applying for a warehouse supervisor, you will still want to dress in a business casual fashion, even if you know you will be wearing jeans and t-shirt to work. While jeans are never appropriate for a job interview, slacks are casual clothing item that most find acceptable. When deciding on what to wear to the interview, consider the position. If you're looking at a job in the corporate department, you will want to dress to impress. Business casual is more appropriate for every other position. For example, if you are applying for a position as a customer service representative at a retail store, you could wear slacks at a nice top. However, if you're applying for a manager at that same retail store, women will want to wear skirts and men will want to don a suit. In addition to what style of clothing to wear to an interview, you want to make sure you are not drawing attention to your clothing. You want to focus to be your words and not what is on your body. Wear clothing that is neutral in color and appropriate length. You do not want clothing that is extremely tight or revealing. If it's cold outside, consider long skirts or slacks so you do not look out of place. Finally, make sure you wash and press your outfit the day before your interview. You want to appear serious about getting the position and not desperate. It is extremely important to remember that your first impression will last longer the interview conversation. Now, a side note that I want to address, that if you are going to go after something you want, to make sure you are prepared and on top of your game. In addition, if you have a great job in a company but you are looking to move up, you need to show that you have the skills to achieve the next level. Most companies prefer to hire inside the company, so you do not want to miss the chance of being chosen because you are not skilled. Showing your employer that you are willing to train and keep striving for the next level in the best way to be considered for positions that may not yet be announced. It will also give you a glowing recommendation if you are to change jobs. It is vital never to become complacent in the need for a new knowledge. So, we'll take a break and I will be right back. If you have a question and you are interested in for me to talk about it, please let me know on Facebook. Let's Talk Careers with Sara. I am looking at the Facebook while I'm talking with you to make sure if I have any messages. Also, in my group, Let's Talk Careers Inner Circle. And if you want to speak to me over the phone while I'm live, you call me 1-800-508-5431. This number only works while I'm on air, which is right now, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And we can discuss it on air, your questions, and I can answer them for you. So we'll be right back. I'll take a short break.
You are tuning in to Let's Talk Careers with Sara. I'm aired every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. In this show, I talk about career advancement, resume revamps, interview expectations, how to stand out from the crowd, how to brand yourself, and skills you need to become a CEO. All of this is on Armed Radio online show, Let's Talk Careers with Sara, exclusively on TuneIn Satellite and the Armed Radio Network.
Alright, I'm back, so let's continue. When you are in your interview, okay, we are going to continue with that. So keep your personal items personal. Remember, when you go in for an interview, you are there to get a job, not to make friends. You want to make sure that all of the conversations relate directly to the position you are applying for. It is common for interviewers to ask about family life, but keep the answers relevant. You do not need to provide any further information beyond the direct question. I'll give you an example. I had a candidate interviewed for a daycare in New York. So, as an assistant teacher, she is an immigrant. She has her U.S. passport, but her English is very, very, with heavy accent. It's really hard to understand her. And she applied for the job. Now, her qualifications, of course, with her foreign degree was okay. And so the hiring manager asked her, daycare in U.S. is so much different than in her country. So there are very much a lot of regulations, a lot of laws, a lot of policies if she is up to handling kids with special needs. Now, we didn't ask her if she has experience working with special needs, but she said she has experience working with a special needs child because her own child is an autistic child, and she knows how to address the situations when the child is autistic, when the child has a special need. She knows how much care the child needs, what the child likes. Some kids don't like to be touched, meaning to be hugged or to be comforted. Some kids just like to be in their own world and not to interrupt that. She knows that because her child at that time was 5 or 7 years old. So she has gone through infancy with her own child until 5 or 7 years old, and until now, of course. But with that piece of information saved her, because we got the impression that she's not going to get the job because she had a very heavy accent, and we felt like the kids don't speak English. They all speak different languages. They're all immigrants, and this was a very low income daycare vouchers that was sponsored by ACS. And we felt like, she's not gonna get the job because it's very, like, it shows she probably doesn't have the skills. But when she said, she brought that up that she has a special need child, she has experience working with special needs, that saved her, and she was hired on the spot. She was hoping for full-time, but at that time there was only a subbing position, and eventually led to her full-time position. So in that, even though yes, you keep your personal things personal, but when it comes to something that is relevant, like this candidate did, that is relevant to the work, you can discuss that. Now, keep former employers in a positive light. Regardless of what your previous work situation was like, you never want to speak about former employer negatively. You do not want your new employer to think that you complain or badmouth. If you left on bad terms, then do not elaborate or blame the company. Keep the discussion brief or simply leave it at the personal differences. Maintain eye contact. When you maintain eye contact, you will show the interviewer that you are focused. While maintaining eye contact is important, you want to make sure you also pay attention. You can take notes when they relate to the conversation. Looking around the room may give your interviewer the thoughts that you are bored. So, don't look around the room. Maintain eye contact. Take notes as needed. It shows you are impressing them. Now, this is just about how to get the interview. Okay, we are continuing with that. Learn some key facts about the company. When you're at the interview, you need to know that. Flattery will get you far. It is extremely important to know about the company you are applying to work for. When you know the key facts, it is a sign of flattery because you care enough about the position to find out about the company. It is also possible that the interviewer will quiz you on an aspect of the company. One of the key questions often asked by interviewers is how you will be an asset to the company. If you do not know about the company, you may not have a good idea of what assets you bring. And also, asking about the assets is just giving an elevator pitch, knowing like a 30-second pitch or 1-minute pitch about who you are, what you bring to the table. Now, job banks and employment agencies can be a great benefit when looking for a specialty position. There are agencies that work in specific lines that can help sort through that many jobs open. Sometimes being more specific with what you are looking for will require you to use an employment agency that can handle those requests, while other times it is better to keep a broad search range. Now, employment agencies are free. They do not charge you. They are actually there to help you get the job that you want. So you might want really to sign up with them. When possible, you should use the employment agencies that handle positions in your industry. The places that specialize in specific fields will give you a better idea of what is available in the industry you are seeking work in. This means you will likely to get the job faster, and they can help you filter through the various jobs. They will know which jobs you qualify for and which ones will require more training. When I was 19 years old, I accidentally applied through an employment agency. I was fresh from high school, like 1 year. I just went to college and then I wanted to work, and I didn't know that there are employment agencies available because I was immigrant. And accidentally I thought I'm applying for a job, but I applied for an agency. That agency called me for an interview. And on that same week, basically, let's say I came today, and then they sent me to go. They gave me an address to go to. I went to that address. I was interviewed, and I was hired on the spot. I was hired for a position that is for managers because I applied with an employment agency that has management specifications. So I got a position as a manager, and of course I had salary negotiated by me. All of this I was not prepared for, but it just happened. But this is something that I inspire and tell everybody. You need to have an employment agency. You save time on researching online. You save time on submitting your resumes. You save time on following up. Listen, if you don't get the job that the agency sends you, they will find for you. They will find you a different job to go to. They will even, in fact, train you. They will ask you what questions they ask. They will ask you how it went, the interview, just to make sure that they train you and let you know in the future what to do and what not to do. When I was 18, I wasn't still in high school. I had an employment agency that was not legit. I didn't know how to research legit ones and non-legit ones. So that employment agency asked for money, and I paid. So because it was my first experience, I didn't know what employment agencies are out there, what I'm supposed to do, do I need to pay and not to pay. This I couldn't figure it out. So that employment agency was sending me to places that didn't fit me. She didn't ask me what jobs I wanted. She didn't ask me what kind of, she just knew I want a job. So she sent me all kinds of places that I needed to work at nights, and I wasn't set up for it. I'm like, I don't want to work at nights. And she sent me to 6 places of the same, like restaurants. And I said no. Like, she did not train me. She did not tell me. She just told me, this is the envelope. You give it to the hiring manager, and that's about it. And I would complain. I would say, listen, I don't get the job because they look at me. I don't look like I'm a waitress. Because I'm not looking for a waitress position. They see me in a suit. They see me in kind of like blazers, and it's not really what I need. It's not. I'm hoping for an office position, but I'm getting like a restaurant position. I don't need to be a waitress. So that didn't work out. But do your research. I found out later when I wanted to sue that employment agency because they did not want to refund my money. I went to the court, and actually they just told me it doesn't show up in their system that this is a registered business. So there's a license but under somebody else's name. So it was a long story short. So learn from mistakes, but do your research and make sure that you're getting a legit ones means that you have a lot of reviews, making sure that this address is, or whatever that is actually registered by that name and not somebody else's name. So this is just my overview about that. Now, when possible, you should use the employment agencies that handle positions in your industry. The places that specialize in specific fields will give you a better idea of what is available in the industry you are seeking work in. This means you will likely get a job faster, and they can help you filter through the various jobs. They will know which jobs you qualify for and which one will require more training. They're classified in the newspapers, are on areas you can search for jobs specifically in your field of interest. However, they rarely provide the vital information you will require to know if you qualify for the position or if the monetary benefits are worth it. Since you should not ask about the salary in an interview, you want to use job posting form that gives you an idea of what the salary will be. Okay, now while it is not always possible to use forms that specialize in your area of expertise, it is the best source to use. When they are available to you, it will shorten the amount of time you will use to find the job. This means you will have more time to find the perfect job in a timely fashion and go through fewer interviews. When you are looking for a job, you are not being paid. You automatically make more money by reducing the amount of time you spend looking for a job. Now, get the job and then keep the job, okay? Let's be clear about it. Sometimes the hardest part of working at a dream job is not the obtaining part. You can easily be hired on, but with some companies, keeping your job through the changes can be tricky. The economy is ever-changing, leaving many companies to downsize. Other companies hire people on in a temporary trial period. This can be from 3 months to 1 year. But when your temporary period is up, you have to hope you made enough for an impact. They will hire you on a full-time. What is that people do to prevent them from being terminated while others are out? The one thing companies look for in an employee is dedication, loyalty, and the willingness to make an extra effort. Now, this dedication, loyalty, and willingness to make an extra effort, is not only at the interview. This is also when you ask for a raise. You want to mention that, and I'm going to explain that later. Now, if you treat the job as just that, another job, you are likely going to be in the first round of cuts. Your employer is looking for employees that push to get jobs done, willing to do what is necessary, and never speak badly about the company. These employees are usually the ones being promoted and receiving recognition for their work. In a struggling economy, it is vital that you become those dedicated employees to maintain your spot. While this is not a guarantee you will not be cut from your position, you are less likely when you produce great work regularly. Do not fall into the trap of the newest employees are the first to go. They are more likely the first looked at because you have had less time to show your loyalty. However, if there are others that are not dedicated to their position, then they will usually be the first to be terminated. Employers want people who show up here early and are willing to stay a little late to complete a project on their own time. With the amount of time you have invested in the company to get the job, make sure you do not lose it. The dedication and effort is also the method to progress in the company. Do not follow the standards set by your coworkers. Instead, make your own. Go by what you feel is right, especially with the amount of effort you put into the job. Your choices determine your position and value to the company. Do not worry about what your colleagues think. And now we're talking about the focus. The interview is the place where you can secure or lose the job. So maintain focus is important. You want to focus on the interview itself, but also on the interviewer. Daydreaming will cause you to miss questions and is perceived as boredom. It is also inconsiderate of your time and the time of the interviewer. You want the person asking you questions to believe that they are important to you. This goes beyond maintaining eye contact because the interviewer is trying to find out if you are a good fit for the company. Your eyes speak volumes about your interest level. And even when you find an interview boring, you want to pretend to be interested. Head gestures will help you succeed in an interview, allowing you to continue the hiring process. Present a good image the first time and spend less time in the interview stage. The best way to prepare for an interview is to practice at home. Use your reflection in a mirror to get in the habit of maintaining good eye contact. Leave your phone somewhere else so you can practice spending 30 to 60 minutes without the sudden need to look at messages on the phone. This will prevent you from looking down during an interview when your phone will be turned off. An interview can be hard to prepare for, but it is a way to sell yourself. If you want to land the dream job, you need to let them know why you should be selected. You will not have a second chance to prove yourself if you fail in the interview. You need to know how to present your skills and yourself so you can convince the interviewer to select you. First thing is to portray is confidence. While you may be nervous, you want to try to hide it. This means not performing any nervous tics, such as fiddling with money, twirling your hair, twiddling your thumbs, or failure to make eye contact. You want to convince the interviewer that you are the best person for the position by staying focused on what he or she is saying. Give him or her your undivided attention and dress to impress. However, you will want to pay attention to the company if you are told to dress a certain way. It may be that you are going to be near a construction zone and they do not want you to get your nice clothes dirty. Ensure that you dress professionally for all jobs in the corporate field. The best way to impress your interviewer is by knowing about the company. Take the time to investigate the missions and goals of the company and show the interviewer how you will be beneficial to the direction of the company. This will give you the edge over other candidates that do not take the time to learn anything out about the company. Even reading the annual report will not hurt your chances. So I will take a break and I will be right back. If you have any questions, message me on Facebook, Let's Talk Careers with Sarah, or in the Facebook group, Let's Talk Careers Inner Circle. And if you are listening it live, you can call me 1-800-508-5431. 1-800-508-5431.
You are tuning in to Let's Talk Careers with Sarah. I'm aired every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. In this show, I talk about career advancement, resume revamps, interview expectations, how to stand out from the crowd, how to brand yourself, and skills you need to become a CEO. All of this is on Armed Radio online show, Let's Talk Careers with Sarah, exclusively on TuneIn Satellite and the Armed Radio Network.
Alright, I'm back. So tonight's topic is getting that job. So we don't have much time tonight, so the show is almost over. So let me just explain to you something that you might ask, is it worth the effort? To get your dream job, you will notice that you have to do a great deal of work. There is research defining the perfect job, getting the interview, and making sure you sell yourself. You are likely to start wondering if the work is worth the effort. When you look at the end results and see everything you can accomplish, you will be able to tell that it's completely worth it. You have to work to pay the bills. Is it not worth the effort to find something that you truly enjoy doing every day? Those who find a job they enjoy are more successful than people who simply go to work for a paycheck. The effort you put into gaining the proper training and experience gives you a leg up when it comes to the number of opportunities available. You will have a better chance of finding your dream job and secure it. It takes more of an effort, but with the job market still struggling, you want to make sure you give yourself the best chance possible. This is true for both obtaining a job and keeping it. So, I want to explain to you something. When you are struggling in getting the interview or getting a job, give me a call, 1-800-508-5431. 1-800-508-5431.